Hey guys, welcome back. This video attempts to answer some of your questions about the Rega Elicit Mk5 video that I uploaded recently. I'm trying to answer how does the built-in DAC and the built-in Phonostage compare versus an outboard DAC like the Chord Mojo 2 or the outboard Phonostage like the Rega Aria Mark III. Before I begin discussing my opinions, I just wanted to lay out the obvious here. This is based on my subjective take on sound quality based on my setup in my room. They could sound different in someone else's room, but I'm hoping my opinion here can serve as some guidance. When I went about doing this comparison, I did the best I can to ensure I level matched the sources between the built-ins and the outboards by using digital test tone files and a test LP and an SPL meter. So let's talk about the built-in DAC's performance first. Same track as my recent Elicit video, which is called If You Knew Me Now by Crystal Alsos. The difference in performance is a bit subtle, but then again, these subtleties are what draws us audiophiles into this hobby, and we pay a lot of attention to it. The Mojo 2 here seems to have the edge in the retrieval of spatial cues, the spaciousness from the recording itself. It seems a bit cleaner. The dynamics, bass, impact seemed equal in comparison. I did notice that the Mojo 2's reproduction was slightly richer sounding. Next track is a solo piano track performed by Glenn Gould from the album Bach, the Goldberg Variations. Here again, the spaciousness of the piano and the trailing notes of the piano keys were slightly better via the Mojo 2. The dynamics, the attack, the prat, the pace, rhythm, and timing seemed equal between the built-in DAC and the Mojo 2. This track is called Black Shoes by the artist Felix Laband. This is such a cool and awesome electronica album, and I love it. This album has some deep bass and a lot of percussion effects and keyboard effects. Again, I noticed the same thing. They seem to be equal in reproducing bass and the mid-range clarity. The high frequency effects from the electronic percussion and keyboards seemed a bit richer and had more air via the Mojo 2, feeding the Elicit's analog input. But like I mentioned, it's a bit subtle and only noticeable when you listen to one presentation right after the other. Okay, now let's talk about the built-in phono on the Elicit Mk5 compared to the Rega Aria Mark III Phonostage. For this, I used the high output moving coil Dynavector D20X2H cartridge. So once again, let's discuss the same album as a reference from my recent Elicit video. Tony Allen and Hugh Mascala's Rejoice album. And the song is We Have Landed. The bass attack and the dynamics are improved via the Aria, feeding into the Elicit. The sonic image of the kick drum had more physicality and presence in the soundstage, not only between the speakers, but the depth perception as well. Vocal reproduction, the bite and attack of the horns were similar, with a slight edge to the space rendition via the Aria. Next up is this album by Les McCann, Live at the Montreux. If you like live, funky jazz, then you need this album. The harmonics from the sound of the clavinet sounds richer, and the bass guitar distortion has more growl and sounded punchier via the Aria, feeding the Elicit's analog input. Last LP I want to talk about today is Nojima Plays Litz. And the track is called La Campanella. This is solo piano music. It sounds absolutely gorgeous via the built-in Phono and the outboard Rega Aria. The rhythm and timing are absolutely spot on, and I forgot the hi-fi components, and for a bit I got drawn into the music. The built-in Phono sounded so good that I kept listening to the entire album and thoroughly enjoyed the music via the built-in Phonostage. So that's my take on it, guys. I feel that the built-in DAC and the built-in Phono performance of the Rega Elicit Mk5 is really good. For a music lover who wants stellar digital and Phono performance in a one-box solution, this is it. And you can upgrade to a very nice quality outboard DAC or Phonostage later when your finances permit. Or don't, just enjoy the built-in DAC and Phono as is in the Elicit. It is really that good. I personally would not feel shortchanged by this unit's built-in features. They're not just an afterthought or just put in there for convenience. Their performance is fantastic. If you haven't watched my video on the Rega Elicit Mk5 or the Rega Aria, I'll post a link up here as video cards. Please do watch them as well. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, take care.